Peace, family. Peace to you and yours. Peace to you and yours. Welcome to another episode of Melanin Mondays. However, it's Tuesdays. So this is Melanin Tuesdays. Peace and love. Greetings to everybody in the building. What's happening, man? I'm going to let the family come into the building. It's a little late out there in the world and whatnot. So I definitely know that some of y'all are getting ready for bed and shit like that. But we're going to have a quick show. It's not going to be too long. We're going to be here. It ain't going to be too long. We'll be in and out. You know what I mean? We're going to chop it up. And we're going to talk about what needs to be talked about. We're going to keep it moving. You know me? We're going to keep it moving. We're doing a recap of this weekend. This was a powerful weekend. Shout out to everybody who was a part of this weekend. I really appreciate all of the support. It was a lot of love in everywhere that we went. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So give me 1 second. I'm just sending out some links and whatnot. Give me 1 second. How y'all doing out there though? Before I even begin, how's everybody doing? You know, just doing a little wellness checks. How y'all doing? How's everybody? Y'all maintaining? Hoping that everybody's in good spirits and shit, you know, whatnot. Give me 1 minute, y'all. Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. I'm working. Just doing something. Let's start by doing a roll call before we do anything. Shout out to my mod in the building. Y'all say what's up to Destiny. Give us some love in the emoji world. Give us some emoji love, y'all. Shout her out. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. She will be posting links in the chat room when they need to be posted. So if I mention anything and you want to go somewhere, just look for the mod. When they post the links, they'll let you know where you can go. Mm-hmm. Where's your email? All right. Let's get into the roll call. How about that? Let's get into the roll call. All right. We got Mississippi in the building. What's happening, Mississippi? How you doing? Shout out to Mississippi. Shout out to Oregon. What's good, Oregon? Peace, Oregon. All right. Memphis in the building. Los Angeles in the building. Was really good. Yes, sir. Yeah, shout out to Brother Rich. We just did a show with Supernova Slum. That was a dope show. We had a dope conversation and whatnot. Lexington, North Carolina. Shout out to Lexington. All right. I'm about to do a call. We about to do a give me a few minutes. We want to take a DMV. Was you at the event DMV? I hate when I be posting on YouTube or Instagram and people who live in the same state where we did an event, they be like, damn fam, I wish I knew y'all was out here. We was promoting that shit for like a month. Like, you know. Gainesville was really good. But shout out to the DMV. There was a lot of love in the DMV. I felt a lot of love in the DMV. I met people who've been watching us for like 20 years. I keep running into these 20 years, quote unquote, promote supporters and whatnot. I'm like, damn, y'all been tapped in for a minute now. And I just want to say shout out to y'all. You know what I mean? The shit sends chills through my bodies when I meet people who have been. I'm talking about. I was meeting the youth, teenagers, right? I was meeting teenagers who said that their fathers had them watching Red Pill and Blue Pill when they were like 8 and 9 years old. Some of these, the brother was 17 years old. He's like, yo, I've been watching for 10 years. I'm like, how, Sway? I didn't even know I was on the internet that long. But the children, and I'm not saying this, and you know, you might say, well, the children around my way, they not on that time. Patience, right? Not only is patience a virtue, but sometimes you got to ask yourself, well, shit, what part can I play to speed up the process, right? But I'm here to let you know that the youth, right, they're not all just out there killing each other and shooting at people and robbing old folk and whatnot, or selling drugs and disrespecting their elders. There is a contingency. There's a percentage of them who not with the stupid shit. You know what I mean? They're with they with the shits. They with some type of other shit though. They with finding out how their quote unquote God body functions. You know what I mean? The shit that they on, they stacking their money legally and whatnot. They want to buy blocks back. They want to buy land. They want to buy. A young brother came up to me, right? Young brother. He didn't even have no hair on his face, right? He came to me on Sunday when I was in Maryland, right? And he was a student of the class with Stephen Richardson, right? Brother in Cairo, where we talked about the precious metals and the gold, right? The class that we did in March, right before the stock market crash and the crypto crash. And what did he do? He brought me a silver piece, right? Of an ancient Kemetic stele. Right here, this shit is silver. This shit is solid, bro. This is going to my son. You know what I'm talking about? I'm passing this down to my seeds and whatnot. He came and blessed me with some real fucking, you know what I mean? Like this is better than fiat. You can't give me a dollar amount in money that would equal the type of love that this feels right here. This is love. This is how you show love. This is how you say thank you. You know what I'm talking about? This is how you treat the veggies and whatnot. This is how you give it up. You know what I mean? This is called socket to my pocket. You know what I'm talking about? This is called reciprocation. That's how you reciprocate. That's called giving back. Because he actually deemed the information that I've been giving him over the years as so valuable that when he said, when I saw you, the audacity of me to see you and not give you back what you've given me. He was like, the type of information you and your brother and your family have given me, I need to be bringing in kilos of gold to you, fam. That shit right there, kind of like, you know, I was about to sit on the stage and start tearing up and whatnot. That just made me feel like, you know what? When people don't believe in you, God did. You know what I mean? Like I say, this 1% of my audience that supports us, the 1%, right? There's 1% of y'all that be showing us a lot of motherfucking support. You know what I mean? And that's not to take away from the 99% and whatnot. And I'm not saying that y'all don't support, but the 1%ers, they vote with their dollars. Or it ain't about dollars, but they vote with their tickets. Like if we're doing something, they're getting the tickets. If we showing up somewhere, they're showing up. They're buying the ticket. The event that we did in Maryland was for free. So it's not even like we charging you to experience, right? Solutions to experience an experience. We're setting up an experience, one that you can't duplicate on the internet. The experience that we putting together, you can't do that on the internet, right? There's no way that you could do what we doing in live in real life on the motherfucking internet through your phone. You can't experience watching me like you watching me right now versus if you were sitting right in front of me and I could reach out and put my hand on you, right? Or you could feel my energy while I'm building you in real life. That's totally two different things. That's completely two different realities and whatnot. Do you understand what I'm saying? You physically being there with someone in the physical world versus being tapped in through their phones, it's completely different. What's the word? I'm looking for the word. I implore you, right, to experience your brothers in the flesh. Not just me and Blue, but any one of your teachers that you're tapped into through your phones and whatnot. I implore you to experience life, right, in real time, not through your phone, not living vicariously, but being able to physically be there with your brothers and sisters and to hear the information, not just hear the information, but really just sit back and look at your people. Because, like I said, when we did our lecture, this is not about red and blue pill. This is about who can we draw out, right, into who could we bring out of their house to come to these venues, right, to see us so they can eventually meet the people that live in the same state that they live in, but they never met these people. They didn't even know that these people existed and whatnot. They didn't even know they had a network, right? So the motto is my net worth is my network, right? So we come together to bring our networks together so we could start doing something solution wise, building and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? But I don't want to talk your heads off and whatnot because I do have a special guest in the building who is going to help me do my recap because this is a recap show tonight. We're recapping the experience that we had this strong in. We don't call it weekend. The experience that we had this strong in is what we'll be recapping because there was a lot of lessons and there was a lot of information that was absorbed by us. You know what I mean? Because when we hit different states and whatnot, it's not just us bringing the information. We're going to learn ourselves. We come back with information because we've actually learned something. So this platform is this is an e-learning platform. This is about learning. Melanin Mondays, Third Eye Thursdays, that's what we are founded in. The learning aspect. How are we growing and developing and whatnot? And are we willing to share that with our audience? So without any further ado, I want to open up the line for my good brother. He goes by the name of Pope Pablo. Y'all might know him as Blue Pillar, one of the twin pillars. And without any further ado, I want to open up the floor for Blue.
Peace, am I on it?
Yes, sure. Yes, you are.
I don't see myself, but nonetheless, uh, peace, love, and light. Peace to the family.
Peace to the family. What's good with you, my brother?
Also go by Chef Pablo.
You said Chef Plat. Oh, Blue Orleans,
Yeah,
aka Chef
yeah,
Pablo
yeah.
44,
I
aka
haven't
Pope Pablo 44. Huh?
I ain't debut Blue Orleans yet. And it's interesting, right? Because I created a character named Pill Scott Heron, and
You did.
it's necessary. I don't have I don't think I'm dealing with split personality. It's a word, schizophrenia, right? But we have these multiples of expressions about ourselves,
You there? man, my brother's starting to go. Hold on, give it 1 minute. Just gonna wait for the brother to get his the camera, and he'll be right back. He might have been having some connectivity issues. I know he's out there on the road. All right, Blue is back. Give me here. Let's go. Yes,
Oh,
sir. You were talking about Blue. You were talking about debuting Blue Orleans, and then your phone went out.
yeah. So yeah, I was just getting to the fact that there's a multiplicity of these characters. They're not caricatures necessarily. They represent different aspects of our personalities, and sometimes there's so much to you that you just can't fit it in one person, and we twins, so I understand that ideology. Just think about a Gemini, right? And I've known plenty where they like them people got 9 people in one body. That's the truth.
It is.
I know that shit. Like on multiple, like on multiple. I have multiple reference points of Gemini's that I know that have multitudes of characters that reside in one body, and so Blue Orleans, was a character that came out of my experiences in New Orleans. When I had some very spiritual, I had a spiritual awakening down there, and it was intense and it was transformative. But before I went down there, I had created a character. Now this was a caricature.
Right. Pill Scott Heron. I remember when he even created that. Gemini has two. This Sagittarius got multiple personalities like that. I didn't know that. Talk to me. Talk to me. Yeah, I'm gonna tell Blue to turn his Wi-Fi off. That's probably what it is. He probably has that Wi-Fi that keeps jumping to like Xfinity or something. It's not that secure. But yeah, I agree with what Blue is saying that many I can't speak for anybody else but myself, and I know that I have multiple quote unquote expressions, right? I have different angles of self, right? It's not just straightforward and whatnot. I'm a very complex person, and I do have um different quote unquote aspects of self that definitely want to communicate with the outside world. Henceforth, why I create the music and whatnot. My music is good for the expression of some of these alter egos to have a voice. They need to hear themselves and whatnot, so we don't they don't flatline. Let me pull Blue back in. It was suggested that maybe you should turn your Bluetooth, I mean your Wi-Fi off, and just go straight from the phone.
Yes, I switched. I was on my iPad and I switched to the phone. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
And I changed the Wi-Fi as well, so it should be stable. Yeah, the iPad is a beautiful device. It be glitching though. It be glitching.
right, right,
You know. So what I was saying, these are multitudes, right? Multiple personalities, but I'm not schizophrenic per se. Got voices in my head. You know, I just have a need to express, and Blue Orleans is like my homage to the New Orleans artists that I encountered when I was there, the spirits that I came into contact with and left with. And it's more so Right, but like I said before, I went to New Orleans. I created a character called Pill Scott Heron. Now, ironic, that was an AI generated artist,
Right. Talk
right?
about it.
It was a all blue AI, and I'm about to, yeah. After this, I'm gonna go record some Phil Scott Heron footage because they just torpedoed the FN Mecca dude.
Now, let me tell you how that's gonna
But
work.
yeah, I know. It just put a stock up. You know what
Put
I'm
the
saying?
stock all the way up.
So I already know. I know how this game go. You feel me? But it's on and popping. The gates is open. So aspiring artists out there. And look, and Red will tell you. Hopefully, he'll be transparent. I have been attempting to create a virtual artist since Gorillas.
Oh, well, we have.
I we had, but I was a lot more I could see it back then. So this was like 2000 and what, 3, 4, 5, something like that.
But I'm just saying,
I was
I'm
talking
helping
that
you.
talk all the way back then that I
I
was
know.
trying to tell y'all. I was like, yo, we should create a virtual group. The whole business. I had this whole concept laid out. So now the technology's caught up once again with these ideas, and I'm in full understanding about what I'm looking at in terms of how they piece that together. Interestingly enough, this artist is coming on the heels of the AI art programs launching, right?
Mhm.
Because what did they say? He is they're sourcing, right? So this
Right.
is this is them sourcing. This is AI learning. So AI learning, it's an
Machine
algorithm.
learning.
Yeah, machine learning. It's an algorithmic rapper. So the algorithmic rapper, that's why he sound like Takashi. They said, look, we don't got to do no work. The work is already done. The machine learning is gonna pull from the genre, congeal, right, and then give you a caricature of what the algorithm represents, right? So as much as people want to blame the framers of this particular AI bot, it's the culture, right? It's the culture. It's the cesspool that exists in the culture, and the AI bot is extracting all that cream off the top, and that's becoming this persona. But if the pool wasn't poisoned and toxic to begin with, what would it had to have pulled it from? If they was feeding it native tongue, if they was feeding it golden era hip hop, it would sound totally different. But that's not where we at
Sound like
right now.
brand Nubian.
Right. So there's culpability that the culture has to take. And it's like you gotta hold Dracos to niggas' heads for them to take responsibility for anything these days.
Whew.
Right? They just can't see themselves as responsible for nothing. So this is starting a new wave that's never gonna stop. It's gonna get crazier than this, right? But I say all that to say that I created Blue Orleans as a caricature or as a character. Well, Pill Scott Heron was a caricature because it's AI. Um, Blue Orleans is a character. I
Mm.
haven't debuted that yet. I want to do an entire spoken word blues album with that character. That'll be a little bit
Okay.
more dicey and spicy than I would do with Pope Pablo with his spoken word album, because that's more like the renaissance of proverbs and psalms, and this is my liturgical, you feel me, demonstration, because this is, we already preach, we're already ministers, we're already, all of these things is already what we do. So it's like put it in an artistic context that's going to transcend and supersede, our lifespans and even these physical endeavors. So I figured out a way to pay homage once again to my namesake, and the fact that you got to come into the fullness of who you are at some point in time and really decide how you're going to ride this into the sunset. And
That's right.
it was a brilliant idea when it grabbed me because it came as a download. You feel me? And when I was accepting of it, it became like a armor on me because it was like a mounting of an entity in the spirit that really wanted to get busy and express itself. Because I really feel, that what we have done with capturing the word and redeeming the word. And when I say redeeming the word, I mean the way that I teach scripture. I've never seen nobody teach it like that. And it's effective because, again, like everything else in life, I just start off freestyling and I bump into something that's shown enough. Like I started off freestyling with the Law of 44, but I'd be goddamn if I ain't tapped into the algorithm of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
I figured this shit out inside and out, every which way, front way and back way. And
That's right.
with Pope Pablo, it's the same thing. So again, this is just me marveling myself and with my mind. I throw shit as far as possible, and it comes back on some boomerang shit with context to be like, yeah, you're not wilding, and I'm like, I can't be because the entire universe exists in my mind. You know, I'm not in nobody else's dream. I refuse to even that. It's impossible. I'm only dreaming my own dream. I'm intertwined in my own dream, and
Mm.
and you should arrive at some point in your reality that's your outlook in life. Other than that, you're playing in somebody else's game. Everybody's the center of their own universe. You feel me? And once you realize that, you got to make it mean something. What would you do with all that power? What would you do with all that access? What would you do with this life? You know what I mean? You got to use this shit up, man. You got to wear this shit out. You feel me? You got to stretch it out.
Yes.
You got to wear it out. You got to throw your motherfucking arm out. You know what I'm saying? Going so hard, putting points on the board, them layups in the paint. Going hard. Like you got a life force. You got life force energy in you. You got a lifeline. You was granted the greatest gift in this universe. That breath of life. So you down here, you know, you spinning and grinning. Like what you gonna do with this opportunity called life? You know what I'm saying? You got to put up a stain and again, like create a lasting legacy that can outlive you. Where again, I'm going places, Richmond and Maryland and all of these, and we learning about people for the first time that I've never heard about. They were alive in the 1800s and the 1700s. Now I'm saying their name. Now I'm gonna be sharing their name with the world. Now we putting wings on the ancestors. You feel me? Because they did monumental work, and their work is resounding and is still standing. And I was in an armory that was built in the 1800s for melanated militias,
Mm.
right in Richmond in Virginia.
Mm.
And they introduced me to the concept of who this melanated man was. He was a brick mason, and they built these edifices that are still standing, and you can go there and touch it and feel the energy of the ancestors in it. And then you read the history of these buildings and how much it went through, and the fires and the bombings and the this, and then it's still standing.
Right. Real quick, Blue, you have brought up sleep, right? And I know that you're Morpheus. You are the Pete
Yeah,
Morpheus. Before you were Blue Pill, you were Pete Morpheus. And, you were running with the whole Morpheus moniker, or like you brought up earlier, the alter ego of Morpheus, right? You kind of
that
embodied
that
that before
that,
Blue Pill was
that
introduced to
was
you.
that was a character. Yes, that was another
Right.
character that I had to embody. Again, like as a self-expression, that there was things that I needed to do with this character that Paul Morland couldn't do necessarily. It wouldn't make as much sense. But P. Morpheus, it made sense because it spoke directly to what I was doing. I was embodying the character of Morpheus in the movie Matrix. But when I did the history, I was like, oh, shit, I always been this daydream. I always, cherish sleep. I always had these crazy dreams. I always up in dreams, and I'm of the highest order. I'm not even like I don't be on creep time in people's dreams. They be like, yeah, you be a savior. You be saving us. You be doing this. You be opening the way. You be, I'm a Morpheus. So, and then until I started studying certain other things about that energy, and I was like, all right, it come with its own energy. It got its own history, and I don't know if I want to be married to that. You know what I'm saying? So I had to body that character and move out of it and shed my skin and get the blue pill. But then I've been waiting to body that character for the longest. So
Mm-hmm.
Pope Pablo, you know, um, is a that's an entity onto itself, because that entity has done magnanimous work on this plane already, and it has a lot more to go. And
Right.
Chef Pablo, I'm my happiest at this time of my life when I'm cooking, when I'm making food. And you brought to my attention when you brought the Marasas information to the forefront, you know, um, the mystical twins of ancient law, in particular from the voodoo culture, the Abeji, right? And they operate through the stomach,
Right.
right?
Through the stomach.
Ugh.
That's why they give the twins gifts of food.
Candy,
They get the food. They eat it first. You know
candy,
what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah, candy and whatnot.
food, yeah,
And they gotta feed the twins first, and then
yeah,
once the twins say that the food is good,
yeah.
then
The twins in the mystical system of voodoo and things of that nature is so mystical and so important. They don't talk about them because they're not part of the pantheon that gets talked about. They're above that shit.
right,
You feel me? You can't get none of that shit popping, and they give all of that credit to Eshu and all of them and Alegba, and I was like, no, you can't get nothing moving or going. That's why these niggas are so broke, especially in this country dealing with African spirituality, and they can't motherfucking seem to strike a match with it because they don't understand the ritual. You have to pay homage and bring gifts to the twins first as the openers of the way. We are the pillars. We are That's why all of those pictures of the twins in those traditional systems, they have on red and blue and they're next to pillars. So you can't go through the gates. You can't get in the house if you don't make payments to the twins initially. They know that in Nigeria, but they're not telling these niggas that over here. So you don't see their shrines heavily, you know what I'm saying, abedgied up. They running with all that other shit that they can't, again, you can't strike a match. Yeah, you just got colorful names and beautiful outfits, but you know what I'm saying? I just went to the museum, nigga. They got all y'all shit up in the museum. So your magic cannot be superior to the European if he got your shit on display.
right. I'm gonna read a definition of the Marasa twins for anybody that wants to do their research and their due diligence. The Marasa are the divine twins in voodoo. They are children, but more ancient than any other Lao.
More
Love,
ancient.
truth, and justice. Similar to what the Moors speak, right? Love, truth, freedom. Yeah.
Yes.
Directed by reason,
Hmm.
mysteries of liaison between earth and heaven, and they personify astrological learning, right? That's the 44. They synthesize the voodoo personification of divine power and the human impotence, double life. They have considerable power, which allow them to manage people through the stomach. They are children of the mysteries.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Scorpios.
right.
It's just another way of saying scorpions. Yeah. So, I was trying to tell you this information like 22, about 15 years ago when I first
Yeah,
came in contact with it. And I sounded crazy, I guess, to you back then, but here we are, yada yada yada, and because there's so much more about the mysticism of the twins in every system. There's no system that I encountered where the twins wasn't the originators of those systems. They were
Right.
the key to the cosmic origin stories of all of these systems, the powerful ones that are worth talking about, the ones that are in play right now,
Right.
especially Mayan Olmec culture,
Right.
by
The hero twins and the
hero
Mayan
twins,
Omen.
the
Yeah.
Wu twins, which later on translate to red and blue star Kachina, with the Hopi prophecy speak about, which is in play right now. Purification by water and fire. Well, purification by fire,
Right.
orientation by water. The water one, the blue Kachina sets it off in the town square by taking off his mask and doing the dance. And then that signals the destruction. And then the red purification star, the red star Kachina comes with the fire and it's purification by fire. So, we can turn our CNNs on and look at this shit right now. They said that the West Coast is experiencing a level of fires they've never seen. I mean, they say, and then they say that every year, but, who am I to nitpick?
Right. So did you want to? I know that the people been asking for a Sandman decoded. Will you be able to deliver that? Is that something that you want to touch on? Not tonight, of course,
Yeah,
but
there's
in
some,
the,
of course, it's
okay,
imperative. I got so much that I want to share about Morpheus as he applies to the mythos period. Morpheus has two children, Nightmare and Fear. They're brothers and sisters. They're twins.
right,
Um, and I think they got into some of that in the show.
right.
Uh,
They even had Cain and Abel in there.
they had Cain and Abel.
Right.
The twin theme is going to be heavy with them because it's Morpheus. But
Hmm.
yeah. We're gonna chop it. We're gonna get to it. I look forward to that. You know,
Right. Let me ask you a few things about this weekend. You mind?
yes, yes. Come on, let's get it.
Okay. So overall, what did you walk away from our first stop, Richmond, Virginia, after the Friday Facts Initiative? What did you walk away? How did you feel about the whole the incidents, the way that you were received, the audience out there, the family from Richmond, Virginia? I believe it was my first time tapping in with the Richmond family, the Richmond family, and whatnot.
Yeah,
So
but it was your first time in Richmond, period.
lecturing,
Okay,
I,
yeah. It was
yeah,
my first
passed.
lecture, and I've just passed through
I just
Richmond
passed.
before, so I had never been there in the capacity of teaching. Um, had a lot of enjoyment in the city, getting familiar with it, moving around, seeing more elements and aspects that I had not been exposed to. And my mind was blown. By the time I got to the lecture, I had already been mind blown by the things that I seen when I went to Jackson Ward and the Black History Museum, and just moving and grooving through the city and just feeling so much of that ancient information and ancient presence. But my ancestors is pissed off there. Um, so there's definitely a curse in the land, and it's the land is so beautiful, but looks can be deceiving.
Right,
You feel me? Uh, the arrogance and the caucasity of the colonizers on full display because they obviously got a W this the size of the W. You know what I'm saying? And they know that, so they still gloat in it. And
big low energy.
yeah, big glow energy. They put on as they should, because you would if that's the time that you was on, and then you see that there's little to no resistance. These people know that they had to fight our ancestors in a way in which our ancestors did not lay down. Like I said, if I'm able to go to an armory and see evidence of our ancestors that was fighting in the 1800s who were such fierce fighters that they had to build them a whole militia, a whole building for their militia, you know, your ancestors wasn't punks. And they know that, but they know that there's something sweet about, the modern day Negro, where they,
Yeah,
yeah, we ain't gotta fight them the way that we was fighting the ancestors because they too busy fighting each other.
the ancestors of the ancestors.
Yeah,
Y'all a different fight.
y'all a different fight. They like, yeah, they savage and vicious, but we ain't gotta worry about that. Now, what we did see when we went to the museum was that spirit of warrior fighter. It was alive in those people in 2020. Because when you go to the museum and they show you all of them, because they ain't take you around to the monuments and the places where they was pulling all of them statues down. And when I got to see the photo visualization of it, and I bought the book too. It's a dope book. Um, they was ritualistically tying ropes around all of the statues' necks
Right,
when they was pulling them down. So they was violating and desecrating them, and I got to give them props for that because that was a strong ritual. It was a
right.
strong,
It's very strong.
even if they got that shit off in that region, and they said the hardest one of all, of course,
Was that Robert E. Lee? That nigga was not budging.
he was not. They said his statue put up a fight, nigga. His
Hmm.
statue put up a fight. They had a hell of a difficult time pulling that statue down. And I get it. That statue is so edified and fed with
So
power.
grounded. Yeah, so grounded.
Yeah, it's so honored by its adherents and its people who have kept the spirit of that ancestor alive and they utilize that spirit to draw from. You know what I'm saying? That shit is powerful because they feed it and it's sitting on a ley line and those statues are made out of brass.
Right,
Right? So that superconducting element of copper is on display. You really seeing the masterful mastery of their sorcery and their geomancy because, again, what I'm saying, the way that they opened up Richmond or Richmond, the birds, I believe it was the birds. Maybe, I gotta go back in my notes because I'm stuck on uh uh when I got to the museum they were speaking about the birds. These are notorious racist family. And one of them, James Byrd, I know from my research of Harry Truman, who was the 33rd president, KKK. James Byrd was a senator, I believe,
right.
in Virginia, notorious racist. He was the one who was in Truman's ear telling him, you know, the only people we hate worse than them niggas is them yellow ones, the yellow, the the Asians.
The agent, right.
Yeah, so he was the one that, and they did a snake move at night. The allies didn't know that they was finna drop the bomb. That was James Byrd gassing up Truman to do that. So I'm just saying that to say, look at the extent of where their racism, where he took his shit,
Right.
nigga. He took his shit atomic, right?
So atomic bombs,
They went
right.
and got Oppenheimer and them to put the bomb together, and they were supposed to shelve it because the Allies didn't want to go along with that plan. And homie did like some late night Trump shit. You know what I'm saying? He finessed the documents, got the green light, and they dropped them two bombs. In early April 6th, the day that the Sabi made transition, and April 8th, right? Fat boy,
But
little man,
August,
boy. Yeah, August, yeah.
you said April.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. Fat Man and Little Boy is the name of the bombs.
Yeah, yeah. So like all of this history, you know what I'm saying, they
Let
got
me
all of
see.
these venues and stops, the city map laid out. You know what I mean? Where you can find. I mean, it's bro. You have no idea because y'all ain't go to the
Shit.
museum, so you didn't see the extensive history of just Richmond. Like and then Black Virginia across the board. Do you know the border Ed versus Brown, all of that took place in Virginia. Segregation, school segregation.
Right, because look, it was Brown versus the Board of Education that jump started the quote unquote, that was the second win for the white supremacist movement that you see today with the conservatives that identify as Republicans. With them, basically, they start funding the Stone Mountain Confederacy statue and whatnot. They were not receiving funding after Brown versus Boyd. That shit jumped up and kicked into high gear. That's why a lot of the shit that we see, me and our generation, you know, our parents and whatnot, there's a level of quote unquote racism that didn't even exist when they were younger. It got kicked into high gear after the assassinations, and then the riots kicked off and whatnot, and then the Brown versus Board of Ed. They were like, yeah, we got to do everything in our power to keep the South under the spell of the lost cause, because the lost cause, like I pointed out before, is what the daughters of the American Revolution, DAR, and these were white women in particular, right? We were just having a conversation about men going their own way and the incel, the black pill and the red pill movement with the Europeans and how they feel about their women and whatnot. And there's a red pill movement for white women, right? So you have the red pill movement for white men, and that's basically them being radicalized online to wake up about, who they are as quote unquote Nordics. But then they have the red pill movement, and those women are waking up to who the daughters of the American Revolution were, and how
Yeah,
and how they held that shit down. Anne Ryan, the daughters of the American Revolution. They studied
yeah,
Blavatsky.
yeah. Funny enough, I seen a DAR statue in Piedmont Park. Last time we was in there.
Yeah. They
You know.
behind all of these statues that you see standing up. They were the ones who raised the money. They were square dancing for the money. They were having goddamn fish fries, no seasoned chicken nights and whatnot. They were probably, they probably were opening up the saloon in order to pay for these goddamn statues. But they did everything in their power to edify
Edify,
their
right?
their yeah, to keep those plantations and that estate escheated. That's really what they were going hard for, because they was like, we about to lose everything that their treacherous and traitor ancestors basically killed and pillaged for. And they got together and they created the myth called the Lost Cause, which tells black boys and black girls from the north to the south of the United States of America that the Civil War was basically fought to free your people, and Abe Lincoln and them are fucking heroes. And basically that's it. I don't really know what else the fucking lost cause is one of the biggest spells, one of the biggest North Americans, quote unquote, egregores and spells that they have on the minds of white people too, rednecks, Europeans, whatever you want to call them. They are under the spell of the lost cause. They're a lost cause. They're the lost boys and whatnot, because they don't even know their true history. If you were to tell them that they was in chains, if you were to tell them that they was on plantations, if you was to tell them that they was the help, they would start crying. They would fucking jump off of roofs and whatnot. They couldn't take it. But that's the truth. That's their truth that they run from. And that's where we at right now.
Yeah, man. So I really thought that I had transcended this conversation about race. When I came back from Arizona and I had some experiences out there,
Yeah.
not that I went soft toe on the European, I was just like, this is not even worth talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, these niggas is corny and they're really here for service if you know how to put them in game. You know what I'm saying? And they was just doing any and everything that I needed them to. So I was just like, man, this ain't even a thing. Which I niggas talking about? And I got back to Atlanta, and you know, things kind of progressed quickly. In regards to, just saying, it's fragility. It's man fragile.
Right.
I just saw mad incidents where I'm like, we going for this? Like, y'all still entertaining this? Like, this is what, are you considering it a threat? Like, are you serious?
Right.
Oh, y'all don't know. Okay. And then I just found myself, applying certain means and measures just to show people how weak this shit was. And then I just started getting, then I got a little addicted.
Right.
Cause I was just like, this was holding us back. Yeah, y'all not making moves because what, are you intimidated? Y'all
Right.
know how to deal with things. Okay, let me help you out.
I mean, man, that 0 to 7 programming, bro, when you really sit back and think about what they did to us from 0 to 7, Norman Lear with moving on up and good times and all of those sitcoms that Norman Lear was behind as the executive producer. Um, Early Disney, right? Early Disney when they had the niggas with bones in their noses and shit like that. Early Disney when black people was they were that's where the cannibal shit come from.
Yeah, put them in a pot.
They always was trying to eat a nigga. They was always trying to eat good old bugs, our favorite bunny and whatnot. Our neighborhood mouse. Niggas trying to fucking run down on Mickey Mouse. Um,
Yeah, that was some strong
it's a
propaganda.
lot of propaganda and it was subtle. You know what I mean? They didn't give us blackface and step and fetch it like they did our parents and our grandparents. They were giving us fake benevolent characters that were like secretly, some fuck shit. And like you said, as much as you want to transcend the social construct of race, once again, the social construct of race, meaning that we're diagnosing some shit that's theoretically not even real.
It's not even real.
It's not even real, y'all. This is really part of social engineering. It's a concept. It's an idea. And like I said before, and I'm gonna keep saying
It's
it,
construct.
it's a construct.
It has
Ideas and
anything there.
concepts turn into constructs. Constructs form into narratives, and that, my friends, forms into the egregores. It's a collection of all of that, and that's kind of what's running things.
Yeah,
Or
yeah. So that part, I'm like, yo, we dealing with this. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're fighting something that doesn't even exist, but because it's heavily laden in emotions, and you can, if you're looking for it, you can find it somewhat in history, so people swear it's real. But I'm like, it's the boogeyman. Like, we giving it way too much power. And if I could just show you how to transcend it, maybe I could get your attention to get into another bag, to have you convinced that this is not really worth your time, because it's not really a challenge. You know what I'm saying? You could punch this, you could punch the lights out of this shit at this point, if you know what you're doing, if you
yes,
approach it from that particular place. So again, and even if this only exists in my imaginarium, that's a safe space for me. I ain't, so what? Yeah, I'm out of my mind. I'm making this all up. It's in my head. That's cool.
hmm.
That's cool. Because that's where people's nightmares at as well. So if I'm supposed to split the choice, my nigga, I'm gonna go with this. You feel me? Because in my mind, yeah, I'm victorious. You know, kicking down buildings like Snoop. You know what I'm saying? And you feel me? And we seeing this thing for what it is, and we're effectively changing it. And again, like I said, I'll be goddamn if I'm just freestyling, but then all of these things around my freestyle is actually taking place. I'm one hell of a freestyler,
Hmm.
like everything else. So
Right.
I'm just like, the people would never know, because they too scared. And I understand where the fear comes from. You know what I mean? you're really led to believe that, you know, some people are still, again, we didn't come up in the church, so that's our advantage of being able to move in a particular capacity. We didn't get that indoctrination that still sits in the back of people's subconscious mind. These niggas think they're going to hell, and they
Right,
spread the white man is God, and they can't afford to be wrong.
right. They're like, even bro, even in some choices that people
Look at
made to be conscious,
look at the
they're,
C19.
right? They're like, yo, I'm going to hell, but I'm all right with that. I'm like, fam, you in a fucking fantasy land. Like, you might as well be at Comic Con. You know what I mean? And get paid for that shit, bro. Like, what are you talking about? The fuck you think? You're going to hell because you start studying astrology? You weird nigga.
No, absolutely, yes, yes, yes.
That's how
It
deep
was
the spell is. Yes.
it was demonized. You don't really
Right.
understand what that word means because again, you did not grow up with a liturgical background. You know what I'm saying? You did not grow up with an uh, uh ecclesiastic eyes and the way that you see the world, nigga. You're seeing them through the ecclesiast, which is the
Right.
church, which is
Right.
a kind of a word that was created by Paul. So now I'm having fun with it, and I'm like, yo, nah, they put the spell on, they put the womp on these niggas. I remember how traumatized I was the first time. Remember when I keep telling that story when I went to Bible study or Bible class when we was 13, and I seen because remember the Bible study was it was characters, it was drawn out
Oh yeah, the little books they was giving us.
books, and I'm still traumatized by the image of Abram Abraham. He was holding the child over the cliff, and he was supposed to cut the child in half because I think God was like, "You ain't about that life. You ain't about that life. You ain't it. Man, kill that little nigga then." Oh, this little nigga's gone. This little nigga. I was like, "Yo, hold on. What type of fucking spell is he under?"
Word.
I was disturbed by that shit. Like, what type of God is this? Like, I'm out of here, yo. I ain't sticking around for the motherfucking chicken after work. I was like, "Oh." So imagine like being a whole 5, 6, 7 years, like you really going through that and your parents believe it and that shit is being reinforced and then they hitting you with the solution about hell. I remember reading the Bible when I was locked up and I think it was the Quran that had me spooked about hell because they was talking about you would boil and your shit would burst and then they would put you back in that shit. I was like, nigga,
And it was like that forever.
Right.
like yeah, like and it was like that forever. Like,
Loop
you
it
know,
like
like how when you bake the
It was like recurrent.
yeah, shit
It
recurring
was
like
a loop. It was
it was the Loki loop. You know when you bake the chicken and you fucking and they get the bubbles in it
right.
and if shit's burst, but then the water be the you can't even because the liquid in that shit'll burn you. And I'm like, oh man, like that's what they do. Like niggas is getting fried to fricassee forever.
Forever.
I ain't
You,
finna do nothing. Yeah, I think
yo, you on a
yeah, that
hibachi grill. You on a hibachi grill forever.
that might have kept me from selling crack, son. I don't think it was dad with the fear campaign. I might have overheard some shit about that type of hell. I was like, nah, nigga, I can't do it. I'm not volunteering myself for that. I'm gonna take my chances. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
crazy.
Yeah.
That
So
just sounds so crazy.
yeah. So people is in that spell,
I'm just saying, bringing that up, it's
and
no,
yeah,
it's no surprise.
salute. Niggas broke out of that and sold drugs. I wish they did something different than that, but they defied the odds. Like they totally went against the program. I'm gonna
Oh
sell it.
yeah,
Fuck that. Y'all gonna have to send me the hell. I need these joints.
that's what happened.
Yeah, I need these 11s. I need these bug buddies, man.
Need these space jams, nigga. I'm gonna just have to go to hell.
I'm
Fuck
gonna
it.
take my.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my chances. This crack gonna sell. You know,
They're like, yeah, the sun or the sun, because they equating sun to gold. Niggas seen that shine, they're like, oh no, I'm going with this Leo principle. It's in my sixth house, exalted. Yeah, yeah. Niggas chose violence.
Right. So, next question about this weekend and whatnot. In a place like Richmond, Virginia, and then also in Maryland, observing what you did from the audience and how they were, it seemed like, and I told this to Sorbet, it seems like the people were kind of happy to be in a physical venue, instead of being online and whatnot. They were kind of excited to be outside, right? They were enthusiastic.
Absolutely.
My question to you is, do you think this is a trend, or do you think this is something that indicates that it's really time? Because when I got
Well,
on that stage, I said, hold on,
mhm.
because we were in that same restaurant in Maryland 4 years ago, right? 2000, 5 years
Wow.
ago, 2000, yeah, and 18, I
No,
believe.
that's for
We in 22, right? Yeah,
22.
yeah, it was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, I'm ready to get back outside because this feels like how it felt 4 years ago when we was outside. And the people, they were in agreement. They were like, yes, this is what we need. We need to get around our own people. We need to network. We need to build. We need to have we need to communicate because, shit, you don't know what somebody has to offer until you communicate with them. So my question to you would be is, what is your, how do you feel about that whole aspect of us, getting out more, as a community, collectively coming together more,
I mean,
and
again, yeah, because I study like sociology and the way that people move psychologically. I know that by nature, again, that we are people who need community, right? We need touch. Um, we are not a socially distant people. We need to socialize. You
yes,
know, human being needs to be in proximity to one another. They need everything that represents. So again, exasperating that separation because of the situation that took place, for the last 2 years. Yeah, it prompts people to even want more community, to want more camaraderie, to want, what I'm saying, more access, to want
right,
more socializing. You feel me? This is something that's needed. This is something that's necessary. And this is something that I could see that once it was delivered, not only was it appreciated, but it would be appreciated, you know, everywhere, especially smaller towns who really feel neglected, because before this thing, nobody was pulling up on them. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
And I really honor that, the smaller venues and these smaller towns, I think that people are more apt to get things done. And there's a recurring theme, especially in the South, in this land, people got access to land, and access to land comes with resources. So
facts,
yeah, there's things that people have to offer, and I really think that if you want to focus and concentrate and be the best version of yourself in terms of what you can offer to people who are showing up, for what you have to offer, is that yeah, you would be, or we would be better off going to smaller towns and smaller venues and dealing directly with the people, where they are and as they are, and
mhm,
following. The follow through is everything. It's imperative. It's important, and that's the only way you're gonna get things done. Is really tapping in.
right, and not just tapping in for, uh, you know, the microwavable experience, tapping in for the long run. You understand? I've said it. I said it on when I was on stage on Sunday that the minimum commitment that I'm looking for in terms of the Facts Initiative is 1 year. I don't even want to have a conversation with anybody that's not trying to lock in for at least a year because it's nothing personal. I can't do nothing with you because you don't even want to wait for the biscuits to bake. You know what I mean? Like we couldn't be on the farm together. We couldn't be doing trading and shit like that. Everything is gonna take a
Yeah,
commitment at the end of
yeah.
the day.
I was talking to a good friend of mine, earlier, and the brother, he's in martial arts. He got his black belt. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, patience.
Yeah, he was calling me and just commending me with what he's been observing, in terms of the activity and the commitment. And he was just like, he was like, had a phone call and a conversation with some comrades, mutual friends of ours that I won't mention. And he was just like, yeah, the dedication is there, and that's so important, to get things done. So he was openly acknowledging it. But, he was like, even with this black belt, there's nothing that you can do to speed the process up. You feel me? It's nothing that you can possibly do. Like either you in it for the long run or you not. He's like he had to work out for 10 years in a row
Hmm.
with no days missed. You know what I'm
Damn.
saying? In order to impress his sensei enough to garner that, a gift that is not readily available or given to other people on the fly like that. Like few far and in between, what I'm saying, achieve these things. So masters know masters,
Right.
Yeah, and again, those are things that are few and far in between. So yeah, like people that don't have dedication, people that are not focused on that level, that can be disciplined enough to really ride a situation all the way through. In this community, you had to put in 10,000 hours, which normally would equal up to about 10 years,
Hmm.
whatever you were doing to master that field and whatever you were doing. You feel me? And it's just like this new shit is like, y'all giving them the shortcuts. Like I had seen one of my little favorite TikTokers just now before I jumped on. Young boys, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
He trying to break some shit down that I'm like, all right, let me see where he go with this one, because this should be interesting for him to. I want to see how he wrap his mind around this, because you know he was saying he was making a bold claim and he couldn't do it. He couldn't land the plane necessarily, but he was speaking hypothetically on some, you know, I'm still trying to learn this, or through the process of me even trying to build on it, maybe I can make some point. You know what I mean? Like it was still, he wasn't pretending to be a know-it-all.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Even though he was up there with the video as if he was finna teach people something that
Right.
he himself had not fully learned yet, you know? So yeah, this need and necessity that the youngins feel, where they gotta rush into things, and you know, don't let TikTok fool you. Like this is not a, it's it ain't gonna age well if that's the means in which, you know, you getting your information, and you thinking that that's how you're gonna disseminate it as well. Like gotta put the field work in, and you know, unless you one of these dudes that's getting these super duper hyper downloads, and feel me. I mean, some niggas is built different. I can't account for how everybody's obtaining their information these days. You know,
But it's not about it. I mean, it's information is one thing, right? Information is one thing, and receiving downloads, that's one aspect of what we here to do. But that's not the end all be all, and that's not what this whole thing is defined by. That's like defining a basketball player by the simple fact that they do dunks and whatnot. What about the other aspect of their game? You know what I mean? So for these people that are considered to be tapped in and whatnot, what other aspects of growth and development have they displayed? You know,
None.
so
And for whatever reason, that hasn't become a prerequisite. You got to understand it when certain figures that are somewhat, I mean, you can't be bigger than the genre, but for whatever reason, these people are convinced based on the people that they've seen come either right before them that that's not necessary. You know what I mean? Because again, it's this is the internet era, so a lot of that shit don't be coming out. They be like, yo, you know, homie do this and homie do that, or some of these people have not figured out, maybe how to put their past behind them, and that shit be catching up. You know what I mean? So what the community never got into, because with the iteration and the generation of the conscious community that we belong to, it never got into character development.
but how
And
could it get into character development when it was ushered in? It started the quote unquote. It started in the internet age or the social media age, right? So even if there was an attempt,
didn't. That's what I'm saying. The failure to catch it when it was catchable,
right,
right, leads to this. You put character first before you start pouring into niggas. They need a foundation, and it has to be firm. It's like if I'm pouring into a milk carton, but the shit is not sitting on nothing. What I'm pouring into is gonna take that shit down, right? The weight of it is going to motherfucker make it go through the floor. Like, all right, let's say I'm pouring a milk carton, and the milk carton is sitting on a plane of paper first because it's an empty carton. You could
right,
sit a carton on a plane of paper and it'll probably hold it up. But let you start pouring something into it, and the weight of that shit is gonna cape through the paper. It's the same thing with this information.
right,
It The character has to come. The character building apparatus has to come first, and this is what traditional systems say. Nigga, you got to be 40 before we holler at you.
right.
Pythagoras in his mob, you had to be silent for 5 years. And these niggas be talking about they did the 10-day silent shit. And this niggas, and even myself, I'm throwing myself in the motherfucker for. I was like, damn son, 10 days. I gotta sit there for 10 days and be silent. Can I do that? Your monkey mind is going crazy. Niggas can't meditate for 10 minutes. And you gotta be silent for 10 days. And in this society, so you want to be heard for so many reasons.
That's torture.
They had to be silent for 5 years.
Damn, that's torture.
Feel me? You had to be in school until you was 40. You know what I'm saying? And niggas think that they the big homie now cause they got grays in their beard. And it's like, no, nigga, you in first grade now.
All right, you just getting started.
Just getting started. Can you humble yourself to that?
I had shared how, the fact that we're in the quickening and, it's qualifying itself via the expressions of consciousness via social media platforms. And I pointed out that when it first started out, when we were beginning to merge or incorporate into the technology, Blog Talk Radio, the average show was 3 hours, right? Coming off of the DVD era, where the average DVD, if it was a double, it was 4 hours. Coming off of the VHS era, where if it was three VHS tapes taped into one, it was 10 hours. That's vintage Bobby Hemmett, vintage Delbert Blair, vintage Phil Valentine. Fast forward to past the Blog Talk era, you went into the YouTube era. Niggas will give you a good hour, right? Before YouTube Live, I mean, when they were uploading videos, the Sonetta days, right? one of those Harlem videos would probably give you a good hour if it was real salacious.
Yeah. You stick around.
Yeah, it was like a
Yeah.
good hour.
Yeah.
Then we get into Instagram, right? So that hour kind of got cut down to pictures. Then they started letting videos rock on Instagram. Before they let you go live and everything, they was giving people what? 5 minutes, a few minutes to rock out, right? So IGTV, Instagram Live, and IG, and then Facebook, that started replacing YouTube. Now we have Snapchat and we got TikTok consciousness where nigga give it up in 1 minute.
1 minute.
So we went from 10 hours of learning, right? In our universe, our quote unquote, our invisible empire, which is our dark matter think tank, or our digital or our electronic university, right? That's what we was all plugged into. We were in school. We were like in a lodge, a fraternal lodge. Those of us that were students of the master teachers, right? And we were learning. It was 10-hour lessons, no internet, just library, no super phones, none of that shit. You had mad books in front of you, and you would pause in the video and you were doing your due diligence. You were diving into new worlds inside of those books. Fast forward to where we at right now. A motherfucker do a Google search and a TikTok video, 1 minute. So you see how the quickening is moving?
I mean, I see how consciousness has devolved. Yeah. If you want to call it the quickening.
Right. There's a devolution that's taking place, right? However, people are saying that there's an evolution because the youth got it. The preteens are teaching. I literally, bro, I shit you not. I literally have a 3-year-old that I follow on TikTok for financial advice. I'm not even scared to admit it.
I was not ready for that, son. Chill, son. You about to make me stop live and go see what this funny.
Nigga just got potty trained doing EYL.
Like, nigga, lit. What are you talking about? He's showing you how to what? He got the popsicle stand popping. What he got GameStop stocks with this
He's
nigga?
teaching niggas about shorts and all of that, bro. But anyway, yeah.
He 2 stocks Shakur. What?
2 stocks Shakur, my nigga. That part. Nah, they on some boss baby shit on TikTok. I'm dead ass, bro. The boss baby shit is real. It's toddlers with cloth diapers teaching lessons, downloads. These little niggas getting downloads. Real talk. So that's what I'm saying. They're saying that there's a devolution in consciousness, right? Or it has devolved. But another person will say, well, shit.
I mean, yeah, let me be transparent.
It's palatable now.
I learned mad shit from the 1 minute videos. Let me be clear. I've been zonked a few times, right? What I mean by being zonked, I don't watch the video. I was like, oh shit. Like,
that means you got red pill. They call it red pill. You got red pill.
A nigga put some shit together. I done heard people put shit that I already know together in a way that is new and fresh. And I heard new shit. And I'm learning new shit every day. The shit, actual facts, I think it's called Did Prince Do? Jackie said.
Shout out to Prince.
Where he be coming from? Like, this nigga be pulling. I'm like, what is it about TikTok that gives these niggas access to information that has always been there? It's like they got a different search engine attached to that shit. Because where are they getting this from?
They not. I'm like, is this from library runs? Where do you niggas extracting this shit from? Talk black to me. I don't know.
It's effective, and I love the uniformity of their teaching format. The fact that these systems have templates that should be followed and they don't deviate from them, and it's effective, right? It's effective, and it's like, yeah, it's just in line with where we're at, because it's like, look, since the shit went to the phone, the format has to change. You got your phone in your hand all day. Yo, we not doing 6 hour lectures. Your shit gotta be. I think RZA Islam changed that and it's never been.
Yeah. RZA broke, yeah,
It,
he broke
you
the
know,
algorithm
yeah,
before
right.
TikTok with the
Yeah,
1 minute fast videos.
he bodied the 1 minute lecture, right? And then shit ain't been the same ever since. So that's what I said about precedence. The shit that I'm telling you about these younger dudes, like they're following people who already changed the algorithm. And once you stretch something out of shape, it don't go back. It don't snap back. So
Right,
son, RZA Islam bodied the long form format for lectures, right? He bodied that and it never snapped back, right?
right,
And these youngins got it from somebody who got it from him, who didn't give him his props. And that so the youngins is giving the niggas who done bit the shit and ran with it. That's the niggas who they give props to.
right.
Yo, this big homie, and your big homie was a clone of a clone of a clone of a clone.
Right, that's a
But
fact.
but but long story short, with all that said, get that man a round of applause because look at his students. He got these little ones that's hit this shooting. They
It's true.
shooting. And every day I see a new one pop up, whether it's a little shorty or a little youngin. But their dedication, they're not on goofy time. And I don't want to know about them off TikTok, bro. That's another
Yeah,
thing. The celebrity shit it doesn't seem to really hold the weight with these youngins. Like it look like they dare to teach, nigga, and get the fuck up out of there. They not selling their personality. That's refreshing. That's
right,
revolutionary within itself.
right. They sticking to the information.
Sticking to the info, bro. They not trying to upsell you nothing. You know what I'm saying? At the end of them shits, I don't see no cash apps. I don't see none of that shit. Like they sticking to that. They standing on the info, and they seem so adamant about that shit that it's convincing.
Super facts.
They speaking to their demographics. They're reaching their people that these old niggas cannot.
That's a fact. And we need that. You know. So I say to the ancestors for lining it up the way that they have by coming back through these young vessels and whatnot and speaking to that generation who obviously needs more. They need that shit times 100, and that's possible. That could possibly happen if things work out the way that they should be working out. I'm gonna ask you this last question, then we're gonna do about two from the chat, and I'll let you
Please,
enjoy the huh?
yeah, said please let me go after that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Before I even say anything, let them know what you're gonna be doing this strong and coming up and whatnot on Saturday and Sunday.
What I'm gonna be doing,
Yeah, and it's upcoming Saturday and Sunday.
giving them that work.
That's right.
So I'm gonna be in New York, with A. Rashid at a master class. I believe you as well. And my presentation is called "Time and the Technosphere." Right?
Hmm.
I'm dealing with this whole aspect of the physicality of time. Once and for all, explaining to the family and no uncertain terms that time is a real thing. And it's attached to physicality. So as long as you got matter, nigga, if you out here talking about time ain't real, you a goofy. Like you really missing the mark. You know what I'm saying? And you might be, if we can take an audit and look at where you at in life, you might be throwing this thing away because you operating off of some real faulty information. You really have to understand what time is as a dynamic. It's a whole dimension, you know, and we cannot afford to play this game with time about time don't exist and all that stupid shit. So
Yeah, I gotta, and that shit about time is money. When money can't buy time, so how the hell is time money? A brother, shout out to my good brother in Richmond, a barber, God did, a barber dropped that shit on me. You feel me? And I
What he
was like,
what he dropped
he
in?
just he we was reasoning, we was building, and he was dropping the thing about time, the misnomer of time equals money, or time is money. Time is not money. Money is fiat. Money is currency. Money is not time. Time, even though it's a construct, tell a baby that it's a construct, right? Tell a baby that it's a construct. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
A
Even
baby, you tell a baby that. How would a baby?
because a baby is observing time because it's growing through time. It's
No, you're
evolving through time.
time through a baby. A baby don't know nothing about time.
Right, you're observing. There you go.
Yeah,
You're able to measure time
yeah.
through the
A
child.
parent,
Right,
the fucking time don't exist, and the parent go away for a week and come back, and that little nigga's bigger, and them shoes that you bought last week, they're no longer good. So yeah, that time equals money like that, because that shit is out the window. It's gonna cost you some more bread.
right,
So time is costing people money because they don't understand the dynamics of time or the physicality of time.
right.
So we're gonna go through all of that and get to it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm also, this is instructional, but it's also something that's going to be redeeming, because I'm going to be presenting a new timepiece, right?
Mm,
So that we went outside of the bounds of time and created, a new timepiece. So this is also going to be dedicated to Jose Arguelles, who wrote a book called Time in the Technosphere, that we read, and that was the premise upon which I based my first lecture in November of 2009, November 28th, 2009, called Blueprint 322. So all of this is coming full circle. Um, Time in the Technosphere. So we're doing Time in the Technosphere, right? Dealing with
right,
the aspect of what the biosphere and the noosphere and the technosphere and all of that represents, where we at with it. We're gonna be in New York, right down the block from 9/11, because Time in the Technosphere dealt heavily with 9/11. You know what I'm saying? He said you got to change the calendar and the clock to defeat the Matrix. He also was the person I learned about 441, or the cosmic cube, or the cube of time, from. So I'm going to be explaining 144 and 441, and again, these time constructs, and what's the shape of time? Why
mm.
time a cube? What can we do with that? Look, I'm gonna go ballistic, bro.
So you're saying that you're giving people back some of the power that has been taken from them by not understanding the
Yeah.
time and the technosphere.
Not only that, I'm giving them all back the power to own time, to manipulate it, to call it their own, to stand on it, to step on it. You know what I'm saying? But also, the wherewithal to respect it as such, because you should be respectful of time. But again, we're gonna be rolling out a new piece of technology, which is a new timepiece, a new way to tell time, the
Right,
proper.
the proper way.
Yeah,
Right,
everything we're exposed to right now is ass backwards. You feel
right,
me? Primarily because they got you counting time the wrong way.
right,
Nothing in this universe goes clockwise. Everything's counterclockwise.
right,
Me. So yeah, we're gonna own time in so many ways. Feel me? So many ways. We're gonna body time and reanimate and resuscitate it. So
mm,
I look forward to it. I look forward to seeing the family in the building, and I might even get on the pots and pans and have the food in the building as well.
dope. That's dope. For my New York City family, I've been asking, when is something happening in New York City? We don't want to forget about our hometown.
Yeah, and they
So,
getting Pope Pablo. That's gonna be on Sunday. I'm doing my segment
yeah,
Sunday. That'll be my 18th installment of Sunday service.
right,
Ministry and Lion Gates Ministry presents.
We outside, sometimes on the south side.
You know,
Oh, Pablo been cooking, y'all.
and you know, I'm
Yeah, one of his latest sermon is on the YouTube channel for anybody that may be unfamiliar with Pope Pablo and what he brings to the table. We
we do.
just did something in Mary's Land. It was called Going Ham in Mary's Land. That was this Sunday that just passed, the 21st. It's
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube channel. Check it out. Show Pope Pablo some love because he's not just, playing games. He's
Yeah,
not just
yeah.
role playing. Like he's in his bag.
Playing with nobody's quote unquote religion. This and that. No
This ain't a spoof, my niggas.
minstrel. This ain't spoofing. Like, nah, we really get into scripture. And again, reading the word is water, right? Interpreting the word and making it applicable, that's the concept of what they call turning water into wine. That's wine, right? You could get drunk off that. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Because it's going to open up so many chambers for you once you get it to be like, oh, now I get it. I can see it. And again, it's a dead letter religion if you cannot overlay it to something that's dealing with this time, right? You can upgrade it. Some of these concepts, words, and scriptures have been written for a particular time for them to be evoked. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm tired of them continuously telling me that somebody took something from us and you have made no plans in your entire life to reappropriate it and take it back.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So that's in this particular demonstration is what's taking place. And we pull from a lot of different places as students of metaphysics, and the esoteric and the occult. So there's a lot of aspects of how I represent and recognize religion or Christianity for that matter that is very much Gnostic. And I'm unapologetic about it. You know what I'm saying? Um, there's an astrotheological approach. There's an anthropomorphic approach towards the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So we could deal with it biology, we could deal with it cosmologically, we can deal with it esoterically. You feel me? There's a lot of different ways that we go about chopping up game when it comes to the word.
That's a
You
fact. I'm learning more about, the word and just Christianity because, I had a wall up, but I'm more susceptible to learning now that you're doing what you're doing and whatnot. And, I pick up the gems from different sermons and shit like that. And I'm definitely, it's encouraging me to dive in a little bit more. I would never even entertain that idea, you know, but you've made that
yeah,
Christianity practical.
we make
You
the
brought
words
life.
to
Yeah,
the
you
right.
breathing life into the word, bro. So I feel like this is part of my learning experience, and I don't feel like I feel like spells are being broken when I'm tapping in. So as long as I could figure, what I mean, as long as I could find a safe space in that part, like I don't feel like somebody is casting on me, and I'm not being put into a box, then I could participate. You know, I could participate. So I appreciate what you're doing. I only hope and pray that there's somebody that grew up in the church, you know what I mean, that may be shackled by the church right now, that may be quote unquote, they need that sermon. They need that quote unquote daily bread. They need that water to turn into wine because that could be a skeleton key to unlock whatever locks they may have on their minds, their hearts, or even their physical bodies and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? Because, and I'm talking from 8 months to 80 years old, 88 years old. It doesn't matter how many rotations around the sun you made. We all, are eligible for the upgrade. It doesn't matter. Age is not it has no factor in the pursuit of consciousness. The babies are conscious. The babies have seeking knowledge of self. When my son picked his head up with no support in order to do a swivel and whatnot, that was him knowing himself. He was trying to find out what is his threshold. You know what I mean? Can I hold my head up without being a bobblehead? You know what I mean? He did it at like 3 days old. So
Yeah, they going for it. You know what I'm saying? They're reaching for it, and we want to give the parents, the wherewithal and the equipment that you're gonna need to keep up with these babies, with these children, because they're 100 miles and running. They came here to get to it, and it's gonna be ugly if you get in their way. That I wouldn't want to see that. And I'm hearing about these stories already. The children that don't eat meat and their parents do, and the children be laying blasting.
scolding
Yeah,
him.
what is this?
Right.
I need
So
knuckle drag.
I'm gonna take one question from the audience, and then we both getting out of here because I got things to do. So do you. One question from the audience. Shout out to the audience out there. Peace and love to y'all. Let me put Blue Pills Cash App. Somebody asked me what the Cash App was. Let me throw that up there. It's Blue Pillar 44, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Real quick too, before we even start that, I want to know we were taking a toll. We were doing a poll and whatnot to find out how many people in the Carolinas would be willing to pull up to a fax event if we did it for the whole Carolinas. We talking North and South. I know we did roll call earlier, and we had a whole bunch of people from the Carolinas in the building. So if y'all interested in seeing a fax initiative in the Carolinas, please, by all means,
Let it
leave.
be known.
Let it be known. Speak and let your heads be counted. You know what I'm talking about? Or forever hold your peace. You know what I'm talking about? Let it be known because we move off of the data. You know what I mean? If we hear the calling and it's loud enough, then we will get up and move. Richmond wasn't even making that much noise, and we pulled up. And I promise you, this is not me lambasting myself because when I heard this shit, I was blown away. The promoter who spoke to many prominent figures in Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, they said to me and Blue on Saturday, "Yo, Richmond ain't never seen no shit like that."
Yeah, the day after they said that.
They
Facts.
said that the day after, and we went in. We came there to shake shit up, but this was off of a few weeks' notice. Like it wasn't even
Yeah.
real. We could do bigger in Richmond. We could make this shit.
That-
We could triple that.
yeah, they got that work, but I was like, man, we can triple this. Like
We could triple
we
that.
stack this to the sky.
You know what I'm
We
talking about?
targeting like we didn't even like effectively target the schools because it's a big college town. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Definitely. Thank you, Wisdom. All those that want to pull up, drop your IG and your email. Don't be shy. But this is about being able to get in contact with everybody the proper way so we don't have to throw pictures up in your city and then y'all be inboxing us like, damn, I wish I would have known y'all was out here. I got about 8 of those right now from Richmond. And it's no problem. It's all good. But we're gonna alleviate miscommunication at the end of the day, especially if we on YouTube communicating with you. We're not gonna just allow miscommunication to take place on this on while we're doing this. We have the tools in order to capture the email, get in touch with you directly, send you the flyer, send you the ticket, send you anything else that you need to know, the dates, the times, and everything. But the Carolinas will be seeing us very soon. We have work to do on that grid. Shout out to everybody in Greensboro. Shout out to Raleigh Durham. Shout out to Charlotte and other towns and whatnot. We passing through all of them shits. Yeah, we got you, Texas. We're gonna see you soon. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, let's get that. Why can't they email you? No, I want their email. I'll email them. hmm I want their email. What is it that I need to do to push Carolina's Fact 2024? I will get it done. All right, Parish, hit us up. Um, Send us the email. You know what I mean? We'll be able to talk to you directly and let you know what it is that you can do on the ground, or who I'll give you a phone number of somebody that you can call that you could basically tap in with, and y'all
Oh,
could,
yeah, I can make that happen.
yeah. So we work together, we make shit happen, we get things done, and we get to do recaps and talk about it. But I'm not gonna hold you, Blue. I did ask the family if they had a question, and I didn't. Let me see real quick if they do. Give me 1 minute. Let me put this email. This is the email to send any inquiries to about the facts, North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up and we'll hit you back. Um, I would like to hear your guys' opinion about what's in the ocean. Everybody looks up to the sky, but they don't even know what's under our feet in the water.
Yeah, there has been an unprecedented amount of discoveries as of recently of new sea animals, right? They're going to depths in the ocean that they have never previously gone. And yeah, we can have this conversation. I do believe that there are realms, you know what I'm saying, in the ocean,
Vortexes.
entire, yeah, I believe that there's inner, water realm beings. I do believe that, you know, we ourselves are Homo sapiens, that I think that our connection comes out of a water base. This is a water world. You feel me? The earth is a beautiful thing in terms of forestry and land mass and things of that nature. But the water world is a whole nother world that is completely unexplored by, this aspect of who we are in this quest to know ourselves. We're not looking to the ocean to know ourselves, but you 90% water. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you could play around it all you want, but at some point you're gonna end up there having to really know and do the steeped deep research into what's going on in that water.
Definitely. In this Aquarian age, you are going to be prepare yourself for more revealing and more things from the ocean floor coming to the surface. This is just the beginning. Like Blue Pill said, I do believe that there are vortexes at the bottom of the ocean that are basically being used by life forms that are more advanced than us. Shout out to the Nomos, shout out to the Nomo sapiens. But yes, pay attention to the waters, pay attention to the oceans, and do tap into that body of water that is a living entity, and take full advantage of it if you live near it. Somebody asked, are those lectures recorded live for those who can't make it? Yes, that's why I will be personally in New York City with Blue Pill and AA Rashid. Whenever you see me pull up, that means that we going live, we live streaming it, and we're recording it, and it will be available for anybody who wants to see it. It'll be available forever, you know what I mean, in perpetuity. So if you can't make it at that day of the class, you have nothing to worry about. It will be available the same way that our demonstration in Richmond that we just did is available on KTL University right now for the family, the KT aliens in the audience. In order to see that, you could go to KTL University and get your ticket. It's very affordable, and you definitely are going to receive a level of information that you're not gonna get from nowhere else. I'll just say it like that. You know what I'm talking about? It's unique.
Yeah, I learned a lot. Um, I learned a lot. I definitely want to get in contact with that black farmer, bro.
Oh yeah, we went to see him. Whew, fire,
Um,
fire.
not our brother. Not that brother. The brother you were saying, head of the Black Farmer Association.
Yes, him.
Yeah,
John
when this.
Boy.
Yeah,
You want to pull up on him?
yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
I got you. So yeah, let's wrap this up, man.
Yeah,
Uh,
to do that.
Sandman breakdown is coming soon. No problem. Sandman breakdown is coming soon. Um, is there any words that you want to leave them with before you get out of here?
Man, again, when it comes to our people, we know the cost of everything, but the value of nothing. So I ask you to be, the deal breaker. You know what I'm saying? Know the value of what these presentation and demonstrations represent. Know the value of what your community represents. Again, your opportunity to get in the building with like-minded people and make your connections, because it's not about us. We just the magnets that bring pieces together. We do happen to have some great information and some great offerings, but it's really about your community. It's about the people that you're gonna bump into. It's about the experience. You know what I'm saying? It's about so much more than even what it is that we're advertising it to be about. So for all of those things that you can get, the tangible and the intangible, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's just make these meaningful moves, the shit that makes the most sense. Pour into yourself, pour into your community, you know what I mean? And you can do that by attending, these upcoming facts initiatives.
Yes, 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 indeed, definitely. Like the brother said, uh, we're in the now, and it's about being able to tap into being presently present and tap into the information that's applicable right now and making it happen. We look forward to seeing y'all in New York City this weekend, or what we call the Strong End. A. Rashid, Blue Pillar, Brother Red Pill will be on 38th Street and 8th Avenue. We will be doing more shows leading up to this weekend or this Strong End, so look out for that. Make sure you subscribe and you tap the bell and whatnot. Um, can we recap all upcoming events? Yes, we can. This weekend coming up, October, August, whatever happened in August. The shit just came and went. But the 27th and the 28th, we will be in NYC doing a masterclass. That masterclass will be live streamed. So everyone who is a ticket holder, the tickets are available on ktluuniversity.com. That's the link that you see right there in red. ktluuniversity.com. That's coming up very soon. Right after that, I have something coming up with Akibalon 44 on this channel. And we also have another tentative date. I believe
All right,
we are aiming. Yes. Peace, Blue.
wrap it. All right, peace, y'all.
Yes, sir. I believe we're aiming for the Carolina event the last week of September. Okay. The last week of September. So, and then on 9/11, right? Before we get to that, 9/11, we will be on Stone Mountain. We're coming together. We're gonna do the Stone Mountain, Crystal Mountain charge up. Sunrise, 5:30 a.m. Sunrise, 5:30 a.m. And I said this before. This is a challenge. I'm gonna start a challenge, 4:30 challenge, and I'm gonna start doing maybe either Instagram or something early in the before 6 a.m. type shit. You know what I mean? We're gonna be doing early rising broadcasts. Now that's not gonna happen this week, but that's coming very soon. I might even go live at 4:44 a.m. because when I woke up at 4:30, I woke up 4:30 this morning today, and I woke up 4:30 last Thursday when I flew out. No, last Friday when I flew out, man, I had some of the most fulfilled days. I had to take an old man. I felt like taking a nap during the day on some old man shit, but I really had a full day. Like I really can honestly say I experienced my waking hours and I didn't feel cheated. If you wake up 6 a.m., 7, you might feel like that during this quickening. You might feel like you're not getting your time's worth. And I said before, time is something that you can't buy with money and whatnot. Yes, you could purchase somebody and use their sweat equity to help you with your time. But my nigga, you can't buy a second back that you just lost. Right? So the key to that is to cherish every minute. We shouldn't be sleeping this time away. We should not be throwing our time away because this shit right here is precious. Okay. And you'll realize that as you make more rotations around this sun. So, with that being said, so yeah, 9/11 is the mountain. And then 9/11 is also the Wizards of Raw, which is an event that we do in the West End with Mama Tassili. And we're going to be doing after parties at our lounge for that weekend. So please tap in. You know what I mean? If you come into Atlanta, that whole weekend is going to be lit. Daytime, afternoon, and then we got your nighttime covered at the lounge, right? That's coming up the 9/11 weekend. So if you're coming into town for the Stone Mountain thing, come for the whole weekend. Shit, just enjoy yourself. Pull up, bring a friend. You know what I mean? The whole weekend is gonna be upstairs. So, we putting on for y'all. And if you in the audience, then you know what it is. If you know, you know. If you're not, then it is what it is too. It's all good. Love is love. Nobody is gonna cry over that. Cash App, money sign, Fax Initiative, money sign, Blue Pillar 44. We are collecting donations. We are collecting investments. We are basically building out this initiative. This initiative is going to be built out by the people. We're looking for grant writers, of course, and we're looking for brothers and sisters who have certifications, right? You should be certified. That's what we're looking for. People who are certified in the field of grant writing and also in the field of business planning as well. So if that's you and you are out there, you want to be a part of something that is greater than that is greater than you, because this is greater than me. It's greater than all of us. You know what I mean? But no one is bigger than the quote unquote cause or the purpose that we're here for. So if that's you, hit us up on an email, themark125th.com. Let us know who you are. Send us your resume. All right. We looking for resumes. We don't just want to do handshake deals right now. We want people to be certified. So, no offense to people that are not, but that's what we're looking for at the end of the day. So let me drop this email. This is the email. Send that there. I will see y'all before Thursday, hopefully. It's Tuesday. Yeah, before Thursday, we will see you. The Stone Mountain event is 9/11. You can't forget that. 9/11. It's not 9. When you hear them start hitting you with the 9/11 fear bag, think Stone Mountain, 9/11. So we could offset whatever fucking spell and whatever curse and whatever ritual that they be putting on our people every year during 9/11. Okay? So with that being said, thank you all for your time. Thank you. Shout out to Destiny, my mod. You know what I mean? Show her some love and whatnot. And peace and love. I'll see y'all later. One.